You wake up shivering, your skin is hot, your head is pounding, and there's a wound on your leg that started to turn green. It's 40,000 years ago. There's no doctor, no pills, no hospital to drive to. Just you, a fever, and a body trying to kill the thing that's killing you. So how did anyone survive this? How are you even here? Let's start with how bad it actually was. For almost all of human history, getting sick wasn't an inconvenience. It was a coin flip with death, no antibiotics, no vaccines, no clue that disease was caused by things too small to see. People didn't know germs existed until the 1860s. That's about 6 generations ago. For the other 300,000 years, a fever was a mystery, and an infected cut was a death sentence, and the numbers are brutal. For most of human history, somewhere between a third and half of all children died before the age of 5. Half. Imagine every family you know losing 1 in 2 of their kids and calling it normal. A scratch could kill you. A bad tooth could kill you. A drink of dirty water could empty an entire camp. By every measure, a soft, slow-healing animal with no medicine should have been wiped out by disease alone. But we weren't, so what kept us alive? The first thing that saved us was already inside us. Your body is a survival machine that's been fighting infection for millions of years. That fever you hate, it's not the illness, it's the cure. Raising your body temperature a few degrees makes you miserable, but it also makes life miserable for the bacteria and viruses trying to grow inside you. The aches, the exhaustion, the loss of appetite, those aren't random. They're your body forcing you to lie down, stop, and pour every calorie into the fight. Ancient humans didn't understand any of this. They just knew that if you rested and didn't die in the first few days, you usually got better. The body did the work. They just had to survive long enough to let it, but the body couldn't do it alone. And here's where ancient humans get a lot smarter than we give them credit for. They had medicine. Real medicine. In 1991, hikers in the Alps found a body frozen in the ice. He'd been there for 5,300 years. We call him Otzi. And tucked into his belongings were 2 lumps of birch fungus carried on a leather cord. Birch fungus contains compounds that fight bacteria and intestinal parasites. And when scientists examined Otzi's gut, they found exactly that whipworm, an intestinal parasite. This man, 5,000 years ago, was carrying the right medicine for the exact infection he had, and it goes back further, much further. Scientists studying the hardened plaque on the teeth of a Neanderthal, a different human species, found traces of 2 things. One was a plant called yarrow, bitter and useless as food, but a known painkiller. The other was poplar, which contains salicylic acid. That's the active ingredient in aspirin. There were even traces of penicillium mold, the source of the world's first antibiotic. A Neanderthal with a painful dental abscess was, in effect, dosing himself with aspirin and penicillin. 40,000 years before we invented either one. None of this was an accident. It was knowledge, earned the hard way over thousands of years of watching what worked. Someone got sick, chewed a certain root, and lived. They remembered. They told the next person. Every camp had its store of remedies: willow bark for fever and pain, the original aspirin, honey smeared on wounds, which we now know actually does kill bacteria, certain leaves to stop bleeding. This wasn't magic. It was a database, written in memory and passed down by mouth, refined a little more with every generation that survived to teach it. They also got out ahead of disease without ever knowing why. Cooking food over fire killed things that would have killed them. Moving camp every few weeks left their waste and the sickness in it behind. And humans carry an ancient instinct we still feel today: disgust. The reflex that turns your stomach at rotting meat or an open sore isn't weakness. It's a disease avoidance system older than language, quietly steering your ancestors away from the things most likely to infect them. And when knowledge wasn't enough, some ancient humans went further than you'd ever guess. Across the world, archaeologists keep finding skulls with neat holes cut into them. Surgery, performed with stone tools, on living people thousands of years ago. It sounds like a death sentence. But the bone around those holes is smooth and healed. Which means the patient lived. Not once. Over and over. Stone Age humans were performing skull surgery and the patients were waking up the next morning. But the real reason we survived getting sick wasn't fungus or fire or surgery. It was each other. A sick animal in the wild is finished. It can't hunt, can't run, can't feed itself, so it dies. A sick human gets carried back to camp. Someone brings them water. Someone chews their food soft. Someone sits with them through the fever and keeps the fire going. We find ancient skeletons of people who survived for years with injuries and illnesses that left them completely unable to care for themselves. Which means for all those years, someone else did. No other animal does this at our scale. We didn't just fight disease with plants and fire, we fought it with care. The group kept you alive when your own body couldn't. And then we made it harder. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans lived in small, scattered groups. And small groups are bad at spreading disease. There just aren't enough people to keep an epidemic going. Then, around 10,000 years ago, we started farming. We packed into villages, then cities. We lived shoulder to shoulder with our own waste and pressed up against herds of animals. Measles, smallpox, the flu, most of our worst plagues jumped to us from the livestock we just domesticated. The crowd diseases that have killed more humans than every war combined didn't exist for most of our story. We built the perfect conditions for them ourselves. The hunter-gatherer with a scraped knee actually lived in a cleaner disease world than the city dweller who came after. Everything changed in the last blink of time. Germ theory is about 160 years old. Antibiotics are younger than your grandparents. For 99% of human history, none of it existed. And people survived anyway, on rest, plants, accumulated wisdom, and the simple decision to take care of the person who couldn't take care of themselves. Today, you can swallow a pill that would have looked like a miracle to every human who ever lived, and you'll probably complain about the price. That's not an insult, it's just how fast we forgot. A scratch that could have killed your great-great-grandmother is now something you cover with a cartoon bandage and never think about again. We didn't beat disease because we got tougher. We beat it because 100,000 generations of sick, frightened people kept each other alive long enough to figure it out. One remedy, one fever, one act of care at a time. You're the proof it worked.